Close your eyes. Really imagine the darkest place you've ever been. Maybe it was a power outage or a remote campsite. Even then, there was likely a glowing LED on a microwave, a distant street lamp, or the hum of a smartphone. For 99.9% of human history, dark didn't mean low light. It meant the end of the world. When the sun dipped below the horizon, the universe didn't just get quiet. It disappeared. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. You were effectively blind in a world filled with things that could see you perfectly. Today we flip a switch and flood our lives with artificial noon. We've conquered the night. We've paved over the darkness with LEDs and fiber optics. But in our rush to illuminate the world, we might have accidentally blinded ourselves to something fundamental. We didn't just lose the stars. We lost a specific state of being human, a rhythm of consciousness that defined our species for 300,000 years. Tonight we're going back into the black to find out what we left behind in the dark. It started with a spark. Roughly 1 million years ago, in places like Wonderwork Cave, our ancestors did the impossible. They captured a piece of the sun. But fire wasn't just for cooking meat or staying warm. It was the first technology to restructure time itself. Think of a campfire as a biological bubble. It creates a circle of safety roughly 30 feet in diameter. Inside that circle, you are a predator. Outside that circle, you are prey. The inverse square law of light, I equals P divided by 4 pi r squared, meant that every step away from the embers was a gamble with a leopard's jaws. Before fire, the useful day was dictated by the sun. When it set, you climbed a tree and stayed paralyzed by fear until dawn. But fire added 2 to 4 hours of bonus time to every single day. For thousands of generations, these were the only hours humans weren't spent working, foraging, or fleeing. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years studying the Jew/Juan C. Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living something close to the original human lifestyle. Her findings were revolutionary. During the day, 80% of human conversation is work talk, logistics, trade, who's hunting where. It's the original Slack channel. But at night, the script flips. 81% of nighttime conversation is storytelling, myths, jokes, histories. The campfire was our first theater, our first church, and our first classroom. It's where we learned to imagine things that weren't there. Culture wasn't born in the light of the sun. It was forged in the glow of the embers. But fire didn't just change how we talked. It changed how we existed in the dark. For decades, we assumed that 8 hours of continuous sleep was the natural human standard. We were wrong. Historian Roger Eckertz spent 16 years digging through the archives and found a lost human behavior. Before the Industrial Revolution, people didn't sleep in one block. They practiced biphasic sleep. You'd go to bed at 9 p.m., sleep for 4 hours, and then you'd wake up. This wasn't insomnia. It was the watch. For 2 hours in the dead of night, the world was awake but still. People visited neighbors, they prayed, they interpreted dreams, or as one 16th century doctor noted, they conceived children with more deliberation. It was a period of profound, quiet reflection. Science eventually caught up to history. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Ware stripped away all artificial light from a group of volunteers for a month. Within weeks, their bodies remembered. They all reverted to the two-sleep pattern. Nobody told them to do this. It was as if some ancient program had been waiting inside them the whole time, buried under centuries of artificial light. During those 2 hours of midnight wakefulness, their brains flooded with prolactin. That's the hormone responsible for the feeling of peace you get after an orgasm or during deep meditation. Ware's subjects didn't feel tired or wired, they felt transcendent. They were experiencing a state of consciousness that modern life has effectively edited out of the human experience. We conquered the night with gas and glass. We turned the watch into the workday. And in doing so, we turned a biological gift into a clinical disorder. Today, if you wake up at 2 a.m., you panic, you reach for your phone, you think something is wrong with you. But what if your body isn't broken? What if it's just remembering? We call this progress. But let's zoom out. Beyond the sleep cycles and the campfires, something deeper has happened. We've lost our cosmic perspective. In 1994, a massive earthquake hit Los Angeles, knocking out power to the entire city. That night, Emergency centers and Griffith Observatory received frantic 911 calls. People were terrified of a giant silvery cloud hovering over the city. They thought it was an alien invasion or a chemical weapon. It wasn't an invasion. It was the Milky Way. These people had lived their entire lives in LA and had never seen the galaxy they live in. Think about the psychological weight of that. For 300,000 years, every human who woke up during the watch looked up and saw the infinite. They were reminded every single night that they were small parts of a terrifyingly vast, beautiful machine. This brings us to a chilling scientific thought, Olbers's paradox. If the universe is truly infinite and filled with stars, why is the sky dark at all? Why doesn't the light from every star in every direction fill the sky until it's as bright as the sun? The answer is that the universe is expanding and light takes time to travel. The darkness of the night sky is actually the physical proof of the Big Bang. When we flooded our world with light, we didn't just fix our sleep, we created a psychological safe room. We built a world where we are the biggest, brightest things in it. We traded the sublime, that mixture of awe and terror, for comfort. We've externalized our consciousness into our screens, and in the process we've lost the ability to look inward during the silence of the night. The word curfew comes from the old French couvre-feu, literally cover fire. It was a signal to put out the lights and let the darkness back in. Maybe we need a modern couvre-feu. Not because of safety, but because of sanity. Next time you find yourself awake at 3 a.m., don't fight it. Don't reach for the glowing rectangle on your nightstand. Sit with it. Let the prolactin rise. Let the ancient program reassert itself. You aren't suffering from insomnia. You're reclaiming a lost piece of being human. You're joining the billions of ancestors who sat in that same stillness, thinking about their lives, their dreams, and the stars we've forgotten how to see. The light switch was a miracle. But the darkness was our home. If you want to see the universe again, you have to be willing to turn the lights off. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring the shadows with us.